Hey everyone, it's Blue Lizard Jello, and welcome back to Dragon Dogma Dark Arisen for the PC. We are starting exactly where we left off in this house here in Cassardis, and we'll be talking about Casardis here in just a moment. But I thought something that would be good for all of us to kind of play a little catch-up every time I start one of these videos is to actually go into the main menu here and go into the Chronicle. Now, the Chronicle you can access at any time, and it should give you a bit of a summary as to what you've completed so far and the story up until now. So let's go ahead and start here. We just have 3 quick pages of the Chronicle, and page 1. In another land, under another sky, a vast army formed to slay a dragon, the ultimate incarnation of evil. But the army was crushed, and so the people's hopes fell upon a chosen one, and with those who followed this gifted soul. The dragon awaits them in its lair, devising trials they may overcome. Does this tale have an end? We shall see soon enough, should the chosen one be fated to weave one. Without warning or any clear design, a dragon sets upon Cassardis, the village you call home. The fisherfolk flee in terror from the worm, a beast well feared as destruction incarnate. Yet you decide 'tis better to stand and fight than to flee and falter. You will face this challenge. You wake to find yourself abed in your room. Was the dragon's assault but a dream? Did the worm truly call to you? The disquiet that plagues your heart certainly feels real enough. You'd best check on your belongings and see how the village fares. So that's exactly where we are at. So this is Julie. This is the Arisen that we've created. You can actually see there on her chest. That is where the dragon...
Newly arisen, walker of the path, take up arms.
I'm just about to. Thank you for the gentle reminder.
Me.
Okay, well.
Come to me.
So this voice here is actually speaking to us through this scar because the dragon ripped us open, took our heart, and actually devoured it, although he didn't destroy it, and that's going to be important later on. He can now communicate with us through our scar. We are now connected, the Arisen and the dragon, the evil incarnate. So here we are in this home, and you can see we already have some injured folks here. We're going to see a number of them because the dragon really did a number on the town. But he says, take up arms. And what he means is go over here to this table and choose what kind of character you're going to play as. So the classes are called vocations in this game. And as you can see right now, we have 3 to choose from: fighter, strider, or mage. Basically, warrior, shield and sword user, striders, dagger and bow user, and then mage, your sorcerer class. These are just the 3 starting vocations. There are a total of 9. There are 3 basics that you see here. There are 3 advanced and then 3 hybrid. We're not going to see them until we're level 10, so I will talk more about those as we get there. And I did mention kind of in passing what build we're going to be going for, and that is a pure strength assassin build. Now, with this build, you can be expected to put out incredible amounts of DPS, but your health, your defense, your magical defense, and your magic damage all tend to suffer. You're not truly a glass cannon. The mage class can definitely fit that role, but it's just not a very well balanced. If you're looking for balance, pure strength assassin is not exactly the vocation for you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with fighter. We're going to get to level 10. Then we'll be traveling to a place called Bitter Black Isle, and we'll be selecting a hybrid vocation known as the Assassin, and from then on, we'll be Assassin as we level, although we'll be switching between vocations to pick up different skills and augments. It can be a really complicated and convoluted leveling system, but it will make sense, and hopefully we'll kind of explain it as we go along, and I'm not just going to give you a big knowledge dump all at once. But for now, fighter it is. We're not going to look like that, by the way. They just give you an idea of what your armor could look like. But instead, for now, let's take a look at our inventory. You can see we have really nothing. We did just get the rusted sword and shield. We are wearing the plebeian shirt, the set of fisherman's trousers. Actually, we're not wearing those. That is what we were wearing before we actually just chose our vocation. And then the cloth greaves. Now, we could talk to these individuals. Most characters, most NPCs don't have a whole lot to say unless they have an indicator above their head. If they have a question mark, that is, they have something to add, whether it be a quest to pick up or to turn in, or a tip that you can actually get from them regarding a quest you're on. But we do have some things that we can loot here. blank scroll that can be used for enhancements and combinations later on. You can always break most items to see what they might hold inside. Small nut. We're going to be doing a lot of this, and a lot of it I'm actually going to be doing off camera, just because if I went and I collected every single item, which I tend to do, it would be a really, really long, really boring video. But one thing I always recommend, any plant that you can find, pick up. So that was Mithridate. Mithridate is going to cure poison, and there are a lot of enemies that do inflict poison. So definitely good to be well stocked on curatives such as Mithridate. And as soon as we leave this room, you can see that girl right there. That's Kina. She's gonna have some words for us. So prepare for just a little cutscene.
You say it left a glowing scar?
Yes. The wound has closed, and it seems the worst has passed, but her heart lies silent.
If you would face me.
You are sure of this?
Yes.
Ill magic, the work of some curse. The whole world's already gone mad for fear of this dragon. Won't no good come of this? I must go see to the others, Kina. Tell me if aught changes here.
All right.
Quest completed. Basically, leaving your room, you get a quest completion. But we did actually get some items there, and I just went into the wrong menu. So what did we pick up? We actually do get some curatives. So we got some Scrags of Beast to recover stamina, some Green Warish, one of the most common, actually the most common health recovery curative. And we also got a lantern. So this is going to be very, very good at night. Now, one thing with the lantern, it actually, you can see that it has enough oil to burn for a while. That tooltip will change as we use it, so you do actually have to refill your lantern from time to time. It does last quite a while, but you're going to need flasks of oil in order to refill it, and we'll pick those up pretty commonly. Blank scroll, that is something that we just picked up in the other room. So, anyway, flask of oil, look at that, just like I just talked about. And Kina, do you have anything interesting to say?
You should be abed. I wish you would not strain yourself so. I'm worried for you, cuz.
All right. Your worry has been noted. Thank you. So, Kina, and then you saw Chief Adaro. He was going to go and check on some of the others. We will be talking to him shortly. Got some green warish here. So, a lot of these items are set. So, you can always get some green warish there. You can always get a festival pie there. But a lot of the items in Dragon's Dogma are completely randomized. And we're going to be talking more about that as we start collecting chests here in a moment. But this is Cassardis. This is your home village. It is a fishing village within the land of Gransys. You can see the pier right down there and a lot of fishing vessels. And those tables down there are actually covered in fish. You can see some of them just over my head hanging there. Now this game, we didn't really touch on it in the last video, but it has a very strong and very important climbing mechanic. So most ledges that you can reach, you can climb up on just by hitting, well, space if you're using the keyboard. Any of the buttons that you use for jump, whether you're on keyboard or mouse, will cause you to typically climb up on the ledge. And then if you hold in shift, it's kind of a bit of a free running mechanic. So we can just kind of keep running. It's similar to Assassin's Creed in that respect. But before we go too far, we have this little room right here. So our very first chest. So with the chest, some of them are static. In other words, every time you open this chest, it is going to contain the same item. And we'll see some examples of that. Cloud Wine, a very, very good curative item, and also can be combined to create some other important items like desiccated herbs. But many of the chests are not static. In other words, they do change. Anytime you open it, it can be something different. And when I say anytime you open it, almost all of the chests in Dragon's Dogma do reset. So if I come back and I go to that chest in about 7 to 10 in-game days, there is a very good chance that it'll be closed and it'll have another item in it. It could have Cloud Wine, it could have something different. So they do actually have loot tables that you can get any number of items from, and every time you open it, you can get something new. We'll be talking more about that a lot later. Ooh, that's some gnarly texture right there. Anyway, I'm going to hop down here because I want to show you an area that a lot of people tend to miss. So if you hop over that wall and you come down here directly under the chief's house, so that's where we woke up right there, you have this room with 3 chests. And the left and right can be just about anything. Conqueror's Periupt, that will be an item that lasts for, I think it's 5 minutes, and it'll increase your strength, so your attack damage will go up. Flammica is a good combination item as well. And then in the middle, this one is set. So that's a Seeker's Token. The only use for the Seeker's Token is to turn into a quest once we get to the capital, Grand Soren, and I believe you need 20, and you get 200,000 gold, which is very, very good. So then if we just keep hopping down carefully. So this nest here is glowing. That is a good way of you knowing that you can either loot or you can break something. So we're going to actually, well, you know, I'm going to do a jumping attack. It's a little easier to hit nest that way. And you can get an egg. You do have a chance of getting a golden egg, which is the best curative in the game because it restores instantly all of your health and all of your stamina, but it's perishable, and we'll talk more about perishable items momentarily. So the reason we're coming down here is that in this cave, directly below the chief's house, there is a tombstone. We don't know exactly whose tomb this is, unfortunately, but when you go up to it, you can see that the area around it glows, and the E key is now highlighted and says gather. Let's go ahead and hit the E key. We've got some cloud wine and another Conqueror's Periupt, and that's it. Unfortunately, we didn't get what I was looking for. There is a mineral called Cassardite that you can only get in the town of Cassardis, and the only 2 places you can get it are in front of that tomb, which will respawn just like the chests, and on top of the chimneys. So you can see that one up there. If you climb on top of a chimney and it says gather, you have a chance of getting Cassardite, which I guess means that you're actually robbing bricks directly out of their chimney, which, I mean, I guess it's a good idea. But anyway, so if you ever get an item and it says it needs Cassardite, this is where you're going to want to get it. Now I'm going to see if I can actually get this. Let's see if I can get this seagull. I want to demonstrate something, so I'm actually going to go into the main menu and take a look at our status. So you can see here we're level 1, we have 50 out of 200 experience, and we have 20 DCP, or discipline points. So I want to actually show you something. If I can kill this seagull... alright, well, next time we'll get him. By the way, you can collect fish, which are really good for regeneration. I believe it's health regen. Let me pick one up and see, because now I can't remember. Fish, are you health or your stamina? I'm almost certain you're health. You are... Oh, no, I'm sorry. You are stamina. Now, fish are perishable, so they will go bad. By the way, down in the bottom left next to my health, you see that symbol. That means I'm wet, and that is because I went in water. It tends to make sense. When you are wet, you will take more magic damage, especially lightning damage. I think it's something along the lines of 3 times the lightning damage that you normally take. It's significant. So if you are wet, make sure that you're being careful and you don't end up getting hit with any magic spells, or else that will be quite devastating. Alright, let's go ahead and do a little bit of climbing. We can't climb up there. That was wrong. Lots of houses to go in. Most of them don't have anything too interesting, but you can occasionally get some curatives here. Hey, Lewis. You don't really have anything interesting to say. I don't know why you yelled for me.
Way I see it, save someone can stop them.
Alright. Thank you for that, Lewis. I was just in the middle of something. But here we go. Behind here, another chest. There are a lot of chests that you can pick up, by the way. And most of the items that you get aren't going to be anything too fancy, but if you're a collector like me, or if you just want to make sure you are stocked with items for when we eventually leave this town, it is a good idea. So just to kind of show you where we just came from, down here, this is where we got the chest with the cloud wine, and we hopped down there, got those chests. Now we're going to push on. This episode is largely going to be about exploring Casardis. In fact, I doubt we're actually going to leave the town in this episode, but I want to show you where you can find some of the important NPCs, as well as gather at least most of the chests. I'll be honest, I might not get all of them, but here's a really good example of a quest giver. So you have this flashing green question mark.
I'd craft dressings for the wounded, had I the makings. If only I'd known, 'cause I need a favor. Can you fetch the flowers I need from outside the village? I need more of the one you see there, and one other sort besides. The more you can find, the better.
Okay, so we got floral delivery. Deliver flowers to Benita, and you can actually see that she's telling you this is the type of flower that she needs. Now, she didn't tell us exactly what it is we're looking for, but we got an idea from looking at the table, but we can also, of course, just go right into our quest, and it will tell us. So we need to give her 5 Sunbrights and a Moonglow. Now, it says 0 out of 5. We need 5 Sunbrights, and we only need a single Moonglow. and we will go ahead and collect those as we come upon them. Now that we've actually gotten that quest from her, there are certain NPCs that we can talk to, including this gentleman right here, that'll give us an idea of where to find the flowers.
Gathering ingredients, eh? You often see those flowers growing at the roots of bigger trees. Not that I'm fain to brave the roads these days. Just see you're not injured yourself, good fisher.
So there we go. There's a really good tip. So we now know that at least one of the flowers that we're looking for can be found at the base of a large tree. I don't want to go too far here because this is going to trigger a cutscene. You can see Chief Adaru over there looking at the well with that soldier. There's a reason for that. We'll get there. We'll get there. All right, so now let's go ahead and run around. I think we're going to go to the church next, because from the church, it's a really good place to pick up a couple of quests, but also to begin your loot spree. By the way, this game will absolutely pay off in being observant. Like that chest right there. Easy to miss, easy to miss. Also, let's hop up here real quick and show you a couple things. So anytime you're exploring, if you see the gather key light up, obviously that means you can gather, and you can get almost anything from these spots. Gransys herb, really good curative there. So if you're looking to get the most out of the game, make sure you're paying attention to all of the different prompts. So there's another gather there, another Gransys herb. There are a lot of places you can collect, and like I said, most of the stuff I'm going to do off camera, because when I leave here, I want to have a full complement of curatives as well as many items as I can pick up. Right here, we're in the church. Often you can actually get some money out of this. Yeah, there you go. 100 gold, just a small coin pouch. Alright, buddy. What do you have to tell me?
Hey, a moment. I would not ask this of anyone but you, cousin. I've news for Merin. Dark news. I fear I cannot bring myself to face him. Will you go in my stead?
I suppose, but you want to tell me what I need to tell him?
His brother is dead.
Ah.
It happened on the shoreways. We were fleeing the worm, and Cortez leapt before the beast's talons to shield us. I saw it. Saw him hurtling through the air. Saw him fall back to the ground. I did nothing. Just watched the poor man die. I cannot face Merin for the shame of it.
Do you want me to tell him all of that, or just the fact that his brother's dead? Because I don't know that he wants to hear that you just watched it happen.
Please go and tell him.
Alright, I can do that. Another quest. Here we go. Let's talk to the priest here.
It is selfish to beg a favor in such times, I know. But there is aught I would ask your help in. Might we speak a moment? Privately.
Do you want to ask Elvar, the guy who just watched Cortez die, to leave, or just talk in front of him?
My thanks. 'Tis a sensitive matter. I would ask your discretion. In the wake of the dragon's coming, many of the villagers have come to offer prayers. As a novice and a newcomer, I welcome the chance to be of use, but my scriptures are missing. I have yet to commit the verses to memory. Without the text, I cannot offer up a proper prayer. The scriptures were secure in the chapel last I saw them. I do not wish to believe them stolen. If you come upon them, pray see them back to me. I would be ever in your debt.
I think we can do that. We didn't even get a choice to accept. I don't think so, Oster, but thank you, though. We will take this blank scroll and your flask of oil. Absolutely. Now, sometimes the quest marks, or the question marks, I should say, are not consistent. Sometimes the question marks tend to go away once you've accepted the quest. Sometimes they do not. I don't really know what triggers it or not, but just keep in mind. But this gentleman, he wasn't here when we came in, and he seems to have something to tell us.
'Twas me. I confess it. I took the father's book from the chapel. I tried to go back and find the book, but I was in such a panic as I ran. I just wanted to look at it, just curious is all. Forgive me. I cannot remember where I lost it. I thought to steal a glance and then return it, but the dragon came and I dropped it as I ran. Cor, what am I to say to him now?
Maybe we shouldn't steal scriptures. I don't know that I can think of many worse things that you could do. So, that precocious young child took the scriptures from the church, decided to run off with it, and where do you think the scriptures might be? Give you a hint. Give you a hint. That child loves to climb on roofs. We'll find them in a little bit here. But this individual might have something to tell us about a quest that we're on. Let's see.
Where do the curing flowers grow? Have you had a look by the shore? If not now, by night, perhaps? I recall seeing some, the eve of the last full moon.
Okay, so one of the flowers we're looking for is a nocturnal plant that comes out at night and is found near the shore. Obviously, that's going to be our moon glow, and that one, we don't even have to leave the town. What we do have to do is wait until night. There is a day-night cycle in the game, so once it becomes nighttime, we can go by the shore and find the one moon glow that we need for the quest. There's a gather spot back there. Not too terribly interested. What do we got? A small nut. That door does not open. So let's go ahead, let's grab those scriptures, but before we do that, you can see a chest there, so let's do a little bit of fancy acrobatics here. Ah, well done. Well done. There we go. What do we got? Ooh, pickled mushrooms. Really good stamina regen. Absolutely fantastic. And we can gather up here. Let's see if I can get some Cassardite. Ah, just rocks. Who's storing things in their chimney? You can often find gold up there, which is rather peculiar. Here's another chest here. You don't have to come through the roof. You can actually climb up that ladder. But where's the fun in that? An Angel's Periap. So that is increased defense for 5 minutes, just like we got the Conqueror's Periap for the strength. And let's see. Very careful. Hop down onto this chimney. No gather there, but we do have a chest. So from here, we will loop around and go get the scriptures. Leather bandings. I believe this is a set item, so you can always check that chest and get it, although I'm not entirely sure. So let's take a look at some of the tooltips you can get when you take a look at your armor. So, and actually, you can't do it from here. There's two different inventory menus. You have your inventory, which shows you everything, and then equipment, which is your actual equipable items. And if we go down to pants, legs, I should say. So right now, 88, 63, 2%, 0%, no resistances. And then if we put on the leather bandings, we go up to 90 defense, 65 magic defense, 3% piercing, and then we also gain debilitation resistance of 6%, and I guess that's some sort of shackle. I think that's like a slow mechanic, but definitely put those on because they are better in every way. And I'm not going to take the time to look at all of the tooltips for every item, but some of them that are especially noteworthy, we will. There we go, Cassardite. Excellent. Glad we picked one of those up. Again, this is the only place where you can get it, so if you need it, it is somewhat a little uncommon just because you can only get it here. Alright, so now we're going to head back. Come on, make that jump. There we go. And hope. Good jump. Now, these scriptures are here at the beginning of the game. You don't actually have to get the quest to pick them up. But if you do get them now, then it actually gives you the update that, hey, guess what you just found? The scriptures he was looking for. Excellent. Good. Might as well go turn those in since we're still pretty close here. And then we can actually take a look at the experience versus discipline points. Alright. And the kid ran off. We don't even get to turn him in to the priest. Oh, no, we didn't. He is still there. I wonder if you talk to him now, if you mention that you found him.
Where did you find it?
Nice.
I'm glad it's found, but see it back to the father for me, please. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. Terrible kid. Alright, and now the question mark has turned to blue, meaning we have something to turn in.
I am newly come, and eager to become part of this place. I wish to be of service. But now, just as others have come to rely upon me, 'tis a shameful failure on my part. I cannot think the scriptures far gone. Pray, help me look around the area.
So anytime you get something, it doesn't automatically give it to them, and there are some reasons for that later on. There are actually some choices you can make whether or not you're going to give an item to a particular person. It doesn't just take it from the inventory, but we'll select it, give it to the priest here.
You found them! Oh, Maker be praised! I cannot thank you enough. Truly, the people of Casardis are a good-hearted bunch.
Well, except the kid who stole it.
Once more offer proper prayer on behalf of the village. But I have dallied long enough. There is work for me to do.
So there we go, 200 XP, we got some gold, we're already level 2, which is great, and let's take a look at our status now. So we had, oh, right, because we just went from 50 all the way to 50 again, so we gained some experience, but we're also now up to 65 discipline points. I'm not going to harp on this for too long, but one thing I do want to mention is that experience and discipline are related. They are not one-to-one correlated. They are actually based on a reverse, is it reverse or negative algorithm? No. Oh, geez. I can't even think of it. Anyway, I will have to put it in the comments as to what I'm trying to say because I completely blanked on the term. It's a regressive algorithm. That's what it is. So in other words, the more experience you gain, so the higher the number is, the less discipline points from a percentage perspective you will actually get. Whereas if you kill an enemy that only gives you 20 or 30 experience, you will get a higher percentage as discipline points. So if you ever need to farm discipline points, which we will, and I'll talk more about that later, it is actually better to hunt low-level enemies and complete low-level quests as opposed to going and killing huge enemies for massive amounts of experience, because you'll actually get a smaller percentage of discipline points back at that point. Now, before we go explore the rest of the buildings, we are going to go and grab this ornate chest here, which is very good. Let's see what we get. 1,000 gold. Not too shabby. And from here, we will go ahead and hop down carefully. There we go. All right. Could have killed that seagull, but there's actually a quest for killing seagulls, believe it or not. So I'll leave them here for now. So over here, right now, this area doesn't have too much significance to us, but it will later on. Starfall Bay, remember the name. But you also want to make sure you pick up this chest here, and there's one other. And then right around here is where we're going to be coming at night to pick up the Moonglow. You can get it elsewhere, but it is very easy to get here. Interventive. Oh, geez. Guys, I'll be honest. I do not have all the curatives memorized, so sometimes I'm going to have to drop in here and remember exactly what that is. So, okay. Cures most physical debilitations. Really, really helpful. Good. So while we're along the beach, you can see that there is some more fish splashing around, but there's one item that you can pick up here and another one in town that can be really, really useful, and that's this right here. The airtight flask. So this is a storage item that you can put in a single item at a time, and it will keep it from ever spoiling. So if you get an item and it is perishable, like the golden egg, for example, you can put it in the airtight flask. It'll become a kept version of itself, and then you don't have to worry about it actually going bad, which is quite a waste. Quite a waste indeed. So as of right now, minus the notice board that we'll go see in a moment, there are no more quests for us to pick up yet. So instead, we can just go around and now loot. See if we can get some more Cassardite. Nope, no gather there. And let's see. That is just the bridge. I gotta remember where all the different chests are. Should be able to make this jump no problem. Good. Good, good, good. Here's another. There's a lot. You have to do some exploration. Work table. Certain enhancements can be done with that. And the enhancements, by the way, we'll talk about that when we actually have the opportunity. But the way it works is every item has 3 levels. You can 1, 2, or 3 star it. And they will take different materials depending on the type of item that you're trying to upgrade. But more on that later. So here's the inn. You can talk to this guy. He has something to say about one of our quests.
You picking flowers for her. Pray, just be cautious, cousin. The monsters grow bolder by night. If you must leave the village, go prepared. I do not fancy the thought of you going off on your own, but I trust in your judgment. If you come by the inn, you can always rest until the hour you wish to set out. In any case, take care. What can I do you for?
So here is Pablo. He's an innkeeper, and like he said, you can rest till whatever hour you need. You can't actually rest for a particular set of time, but you can either rest... Here, I'll just... Well, I don't want to do it because it'll automatically deduct gold. You can rest till nighttime, or you can rest till morning. At any given time, any inn, you can do one of those two things, and it's really good that you can do that because there are events and certain items that you can only accomplish and pick up at certain times of the day. So for now, let's go ahead and avoid it.
As you will.
But we're going to take a look at the storage because this is technically like the collector's edition or the full edition of Dark Arisen. There are actually some items that we actually get right at the beginning, including a liftstone. Oh, do we get 3? We get 3. So this is just for Bitter Black Isle. We'll probably take those when we go there. You have a Fiend Luring Incense, also for Bitter Black. You have some armor, and I'm going to tell you right now, the armor is really good. In fact, it's so good, I'm not going to take it. I am not going to take any of these items because it makes the game, I don't want to say too easy, but in a sense, it is too easy. So I'm going to leave them in there for now, and we can come back later on if we really want it. But for now, I want to only use the items that I collect on my own. But here's the notice board. You can find one of these in several locations throughout the game, and they do kind of restock and replenish with new quests. Typically, these are just going to be some sort of either fetch quest or go kill this many enemies. So for here, we have, let's see, 10 bandits. Absolutely. 10 goblins. Sure. 7 mice. And 5 rabbits. Really easy to get some experience and some much needed discipline points by just doing the notice board quests. Very, very helpful indeed. Alright, so let's come out here. Now this house right here is none other but your own. This is where you live. And you can get some interventives, some greenware-ish, and not a whole lot else. We kind of had poultry stores, some carrots if your eyesight's going, you need that beta carotene. Doesn't really impact anything. But here is our poor friend Merrin.
Cortez is found?
He had, well, it's not that he's found, it's just that one of the other gentlemen's Elvar watched him die.
Elvar has suffered in this as well.
Has he?
Cortez made his choice. He faced his end with valor and died a man. Elvar bears no fault in that. He has no cause to blame.
You're a good man, Merrin. You really are.
My thanks, good Fisher. I am sorry this burden fell upon you. I shall go and put Elvar at ease.
You know, it's funny. Even though he is going to go talk to Elvar, you still have to go and talk to him yourself. But before we do that, we want to... I don't know if I can sneak past this area without getting the cutscene. Probably not. Oh, maybe you can. See that stone right there? We already saw one in the tutorial. That is a rift stone. And once we get anywhere near that, it is going to cause a cutscene. But before, we want to use this box. Don't break the box because it makes climbing this a lot easier if you don't. There we go. Because we have another chest. Oh, another 3,000 gold. That's a really good start, by the way. That's an excellent start for being in this beginning area. Anything to gather? Yeah. Alright. Cool, so that is most of the looting done. Like I said, I'm going to do the rest of it off camera in between this episode and the next. That way I can have all of the herbs and all the gather spots cleared out. But I'm going to leave you on another cutscene. And there are a few little cutscenes in the game, so maybe that'll just be the way we kind of pockmark the different episodes. But here we go.
That man you are speaking with, he's of the Pawn Legion. They come from some unknown place, just appear without a warning. They're a strange lot. Not human, quite. They look the part, sure enough, but they lack the will, the spark, what drives us. They have no capacity to feel nor act alone, so they live as sellswords. Myrmidons, they're called. There's an encampment west of the village where men gather to face the dragon. I'd wager a fair number of his kind will be there as well. Why don't you take him? Might be you learn aught of why he came to you in the first place.
Before leaving, visit the store to make sure you've ample supplies.
Make for the encampment. So this is Rook. You can talk to the pawns.
Here in Cassardis will make for a safer trip to the encampment.
And they'll give you some tips and tricks along the way. He is a set pawn. You will always get Rook at the beginning. And for that, I'm going to apologize. Because is there a creepier looking individual in the history of gaming? I don't know. I don't know. Especially when you choose a young female character like I have. This just... it just doesn't seem just doesn't seem right. Anyway, we are going to wrap up there. I know that all we've done is explore Cassardis, but there's just so much to see. And I want to make sure that this is just as much a walkthrough as it is a Let's Play. And even though I'm not going to be doing absolutely everything possible and finding every single item in the game, that is for you guys to do on your own as you explore. But I just want to make sure that I can assist you along the way and kind of maybe elucidate some of the story and some of the lore that this game might have to offer, even though maybe it's a little bit lacking. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any tips and tricks on how better I can play this game, put them in the comments below. I would love to listen. Also, I haven't made my pawn yet, but if you want to become friends with me on Steam, you have to figure out my super secret Steam username. And you only get 3 guesses. But if you add me on Steam, I will add you back, and then we can rent out each other's pawns for free. Very cool. Anyway, guys, thank you again for watching, and I will see you next time. I wish there was a wave option.